Is this a familiar sight to you? Maybe you attended a Broadway show or an opera. This is a really common setup with a stage on one side and rows of seats on the other. And I mean, it's a good setup, it's stood the test of time, everyone's used to it. But what if I told you it didn't have to be the only way to watch a show? So I've been in Berlin the last few weeks, and on the recommendation of an internet friend who happens to be a classical musician, I was told to attend a show at the Berliner Philharmonie. And so I booked my ticket to the youth orchestra and went about my day. Then the day of the concert, I'm super pumped to attend. But when I walk in, I realize the concert hall is nothing like I've ever seen before. The stage was in the center and there were rows of seating all around. It was really cool. And that got me thinking, why was it set up like this? Were there other concert halls like this before, or was this the first one? So I looked into it, and what I found was really interesting. Designed by German architect Hans Schrun, the Philharmonie was completed in 1963, and the design was centered around a single radical idea: to put the orchestra at the center, not the front. And at the time, a design like this was unprecedented. Every concert hall before it, from the Vienna Musikverein to Carnegie Hall, was designed the same way. But the Berliner Philharmonie had a different philosophy: that every listener, regardless of where they sat, would have an equivalent sonic relationship to the music. But here's where it gets interesting, and Berlin in particular was uniquely positioned for a design like this. If you recall, the Berlin Wall had gone up just 2 years earlier in 1961, officially setting a physical barrier between the Allied West Berlin and the Soviet East Berlin. And at the height of the Cold War, the West German government invested heavily in cultural infrastructure, as sort of an ideological counter-programming against communism. And the Philharmonie, sat symbolically close to the wall, was meant to broadcast to the East that the West valued art and civilization and democratic aesthetics. Opposite of what the prestigious cultural institutions East Germany had to offer, the Philharmonie had no hierarchy, no seats of power, just the orchestra at the center and the audience surrounding it as equals. And while that period of time was an incredibly tense one, the Philharmonie was an argument about what civilization looks like when it's at its best. And trust me, it's a beautiful argument. Now, the show itself was an amazing one. And coming from someone who hasn't been to a show in many years, I can confidently say that I'll be going more often, and I'd encourage you to do the same. So if you decide to go yourself, or better yet, take your kids, please let me know. I always love receiving messages like this. Lots more thoughts on the way, so if you haven't yet, please like and follow, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.